instead of looking at somebody's behavior and saying, what is wrong with you? Nothing's wrong with them. That behavior was developed as a way to survive or was reinforced in some way. So instead of saying, what's wrong with you, say, how did this develop? So if the person has no boundaries, we're just going to say they are wide open. You can walk all over their thoughts, feelings. They'll do whatever you want them to do, even if they don't want to. That's absolutely no boundaries. This person may be seeking attention. They may be needing somebody to validate them. They don't feel able to validate themselves, really insecure attachment. They may be help seeking. Sometimes people who just haven't been heard from other people in their life, and they're just like, I desperately need some help. At a certain point, they may just start telling whoever's going to listen what their problem is, hoping, somewhere in the back of their mind, they're hoping that somebody can help them. And that's important to recognize. What is the motivation? Some people have no boundaries because they were taught that boundaries were inappropriate when they were growing up. And a lot of our cluster B behaviors, personality disorders, center around very, very poor boundaries. Histrionic personality disorder. The person needs to be the center of attention. The person is often way overshares things. Person often has kind of loose boundaries. Same thing with dependent personality, with the exception of needing to be the center of attention. Now, borderline personality, interestingly enough, hence the name borderline, can go either way. Sometimes they may be sharing everything. It's just like, here it all is. But as soon as they perceive that they are being criticized, judged, rejected, what have you, they're going to pull all that back and they're going to go, I don't trust you at all. So they've either got wide open doors or they're locked up like Fort Knox. Rigid boundaries often indicate a need for safety. And we see this in social anxiety. We see this in a variety of social anxiety disorders, because avoidant personality, that was the other one I was looking for. Avoidant personality disorder. Why did this person develop these behaviors? Well, when you read the symptoms, it reads pretty much like a textbook of somebody who has been hurt or violated or betrayed in some way by likely multiple people, and likely people of significance, like their primary caregivers. So they developed these really rigid boundaries to stay safe, which means they also have difficulty developing any intimacy. Developing intimacy is something that is terrifying for a lot of people. And before we get into self-intimacy, I do want to say that when you're working with people in session, it's important to define intimacy in its multiple forms and explore what types of intimacy people feel safe with. People who have a history of abuse are not going to feel safe with certain types of intimacy. And even the word intimacy may trigger terror in their mind. And they're like, oh, heck no, because the only thing they're thinking about is physical intimacy. So we need to be very clear about what we're talking about. We need to potentially find a different word for it. If the word intimacy is triggering for somebody, let's not just keep pounding that out. It's not something that's going to work for them. It's going to trigger them when they hear it. Now, some of you may argue, well, eventually they'll desensitize to it. Possibly. But that's a conversation I want to have with my client. I want to say, okay, if this word is triggering, we can change the word, or we can continue to use the word so eventually it becomes less threatening. Which do you want? But intimacy is something, and after a betrayal in relationships, when somebody's been betrayed, they often may feel sick to their stomach when thinking about developing intimacy again. Because, again, most people, when they think intimacy, they think sexual. And that there are so many more different types of intimacy that may need to develop and hopefully do develop before the sexual intimacy develops. And even before any physical intimacy develops. Some couples that I've worked with, they haven't been ready to touch each other again yet. It's like, no, I'll sit on the other side of the sofa. Okay,